Hey friends, this is Mrs. Wolfie from Our Half Acre Homestead. Now, I had a bunch of people ask me why I stopped doing the money saving tips, the things my grandmother would tell you to save, because we covered a lot, but it's now more relevant than ever. So please enjoy these videos because I'm reposting them in a throwback series. Here's what my grandmother would tell you to save, the throwback series. Now, when I was doing the video yesterday on the grocery and the garden, and there is another the last garden video, well, the last planting video is coming up tomorrow. I said that you could reuse and wash these meat trays, and there was a lot of people that were shocked that you could do this, and some people had reservations about reusing a tray that meat was in. Someone said it is porous. It is not porous. Okay, I'm just going to let you know that these things are not porous. If they were porous, they would absorb the meat juice or even leak it. But they're not porous. Okay, so you can. Some Dawn and vinegar on a little scrub brush, scrub it all over, rinse it good in hot water, and that's ready for rewrapping. You can rewrap it with tin foil or Christmas wrap or whatever you want to put treats on, right? It's all good. Now, there's also, we can't afford to eat Chinese food more than once or twice a year. But when we do, the place that we get our Chinese food from sends stuff in these plastic containers. Now, these are way too good not to reuse. As a matter of fact, I always order enough Chinese food to do us 3 meals. And one of them is an entire sampling of what we ordered in one of these containers with an egg roll and pops in the fridge for Howie's lunch the next day. These are awesome. Many times you'll get potato salad or rice or something like that from the grocery store in one of these. These are really, really durable, and it just happens to hold a piece of cake perfectly. I reuse. I save. When I buy bread at the grocery store and it's getting way too expensive, I'm going to have to start making my own on a weekly basis in the summer. But when I buy grocery store bread, I save most of those bags to reuse when I make extra loaves of bread and I have nothing. You can wrap them in parchment or wax paper, but that gets expensive. So I save my bread bags, especially the long ones, right? I save my bread bags for that. Any grocery bags. I'm sure most of you are rolling your eyes and going, yeah, do that. Yeah, do that. But there's a lot of people out there that have never been taught to think about these things, right? I mean, it's no joke, rewashing tinfoil. You can rewash your tinfoil, right? If, like I do, I have one pan, one cookie sheet that I do my potatoes on, my fries and stuff, my wedgie fries and stuff. And I cover that really nice and tight close with shiny side up tinfoil. And if I don't rip it when I'm taking the fries off it, it gets a squirt of Dawn and a wash and then a rinse, and that goes into the bottom of the oven, and I'll use that tin foil over and over again until it rips. Right? Parchment paper. Wash, if you have parchment paper on your cookie sheets, because my cookie sheets are old and beat up. Honestly, guys, if it is not like brown from being in the oven too often and brittle, like that it's starting to fall apart, run that under some warm water, okay? Add a little Dawn, squish it all up like a face cloth, rinse it in hot water, then rinse it in cold water, and hang it over a towel rack to dry. you can use parchment paper over and over and over again. Mayonnaise jars. You know the Hellmann's and the Kirkland mayonnaise jars? Those are awesome for storing things like pasta and rice when you don't want to use your valuable canning jars or your Mylar bags. Once you've frozen your pasta and frozen your rice, yes, you should freeze the pasta. It can get wheat lice, okay? So freeze anything that's like a flour content. But once you've frozen your rice or frozen your pasta, it can go into these cleaned out plastic mayonnaise jars, and you're not using up your, valuable glass jars that you do other things in. If you can wash it and reuse it for something else, don't throw it away. Don't throw it away. I was raised by parents who were born in the 1920s, who were raised in the Great Depression. My mother wore a flour sack dress, okay? They started putting out prints on the flour sacks to get people to buy them. And she had a little pair of panties with flour or sugar across the bottom, so you never saw it. These were the people that raised me, right? The people that taught me how to strain beef drippings, strain bacon drippings, strain all drippings, and keep them in the fridge, right? To keep, I couldn't figure out why my dad saved all his margarine tubs. Because he'd say, oh, no, those are real hand. And I said, well, where do they go? He said, down in the basement. He said, I have little different kinds of nails and screws and kinds that are all little on a shelf. It's time to re-educate the next generation on how to get through tough times, right? No shame in washing and reusing anything, okay? Take care. God bless. And remember, this is my tagline, squeeze that quarter and make it fart an extra nickel.